that just straddled roadkill. That's pretty good. I'm gonna hit the windshield wiper. I didn't, the car didn't need that, but I did. So I have seen it stop for possum. See, oh, we just went away, ran around that debris into the other lane. That was amazing. So just put in a waypoint, see if how well it does parking in a parking lot, which I can tell it to do. Park in a parking lot as opposed to curbside. We are on sloth mode, and I just saw a police officer, and anything above sloth will likely get pulled over around here. So it's still not displaying cones. Now these aren't real cones, but in other visualizations I'd expect them to actually show a cone icon. That's an update I was hoping to see in this version. Alright, so I decided to back in. Awesome. And we are perfectly centered. Even though we're plenty of empty spots around with no one, we did back near a vehicle. So we're headed to a running trail today. Let's see, we are on software 14.1.7 full self-driving in the Cybertruck. We got a long drive. By long drive I mean 37 miles, 51 minutes. We'll speed through that, but I did want you to see from a start, and we'll tell you some stories while we're still here on the back roads. So we are in the middle of a parking lot, which is not intuitive as to how to get out, but without pressing anything, we'll just start into self-driving. Figure out how to get out of here. So the options that we have available to us in speed are now on our profile. So you got sloth, chill, standard, hurry, and Mad Max. Mad Max is like 15 to 20 above the speed limit and stays in the passing lane essentially. Hurry is only 10 miles an hour above the speed limit. Standards 5 to 10, chills 2 to 3, and sloth keeps you at the speed limit as it knows it. So for today's drive, I expect it to be fairly intervention-less. However, between not knowing exactly what the speed limit is and some places where I need the vehicle to be aggressive to get through it, I reserve the right to move through our profiles to provide the most accurate natural driving experience. What I hope to see in future updates is that it saves the profile that is most accurate, or that the user inputs, and it saves that geographically. So right now I would not want to get pulled over next to a school. Police are around here all the time. I'd like to be in sloth. We're about to make a turn where it does not recognize that the speed limit goes up to an unposted country road, which 45, 55, depending on who you ask, which Mad Max will get up there for sure. Sloth will stay at the 35, even though we've got a sign here that says end 35. It doesn't say what it actually is. Reasonable people will disagree, and you can see that we're not going above 35. If I go into chill, it's likely to bump up a couple, especially as we're following someone going faster. I go into standard. We might hit 40, except for now we're on this guy's bumper. And we are going to... The car was going to pass them. Except for there is a vehicle up there. That started a passing before I did. So we're still in standard, topping out at 40. We've got to hurry. .45 and what it thinks is a 35. And Mad Max is pretty aggressive. So I would say my profile on Mad Max, and this is a 45 to 55 road, to let full self-driving continue to operate without me intervening. Keep it on Mad Max to go around this corner. Did more than 90-degree turn, and it did that amazingly. Noted I still haven't made any corrections other than the speed profiles. So this is a little bit more residential. That just straddled roadkill. That's pretty good. I am gonna hit the windshield wiper. The car didn't need that, but I did. So I have seen it stop for possum. See, we just ran around that debris into the other lane. That was amazing. It stopped for possum. It's a lot more kind to pedestrians and then getting over sooner. Again, this is still an unmarked country road, but with residents around here, we usually stick around 45. So I'm going to drop it down to hurry. Come down a little bit. Let's go to standard. Standard is pretty good. Normal driving, what you'd expect out of a person. So short story before we probably speed through this 45-minute drive. I was in the Atlanta airport carrying my Cybertruck backpack, off-brand, but it's a Cyber backpack, and a random guy on the plane train with me goes, "Oh, I like your backpack." Little did I know he had already taken my picture, not including my face, thank you, and then proceeded to discuss how excited we were for full self-driving 14 as he identified himself as a Cybertruck owner, and asked if I had one, and of course our conversation ensued off the plane train into the terminal, and we talked for maybe it was probably 5 minutes, but talked for a while, and he introduced himself as Triangle with a Y on the X. Said, "I've got a small YouTube following." And he didn't mention the picture, but I looked him up on X, and sure enough, the picture was there. And I'll post his video, or his picture that he took. I shared that with friends and family. I thought it was apparent that it was me, but apparently my hand and me jacketed in my running shoes at the airport are not something that my friends recognize. So yes, that is a picture of me from my new friend, Triangle. I'm not sure why the truck didn't continue forward there. I did have to press the accelerator. The next intersection is pretty aggressive, so I'm going to put it on Mad Max mode as we get closer. I'll try not to intervene. That might have gone eventually. That was the first time I've had that amount of hesitation. So I've been running errands with the Cybertruck, and before I would say that it took the edge off of driving. At this point, it's doing all the work. There's another level of convenience that has been applied here where there's no thinking. I put in the address, we show up, it at least attempts to park. I fix the parking, I get out of my car, and we move on to the next errand. It's pretty incredible. It was a step change between 13 and 14. So here I'm going to go to Mad Max just because this is an interesting intersection and I want it to do its thing as fast as possible. Awesome. I didn't do anything there. And we're on the freeway. Now that was pretty amazing. A little bit more room, and I'm not driving, I can put a couple pounds of pressure on the wheel to cheat within the lane without taking over. Let's look for that roll here. So that vehicle went, so we can stop at any point basically. Stop and go. Alright, again, the go was good. There was cars left or right of us. That wasn't horrible. Welcome to Bullring, Oregon. Sister city of Dull, Scotland, it appears. Again, took the initiative to go right on red. Little park here at the beginning of the trail. And we'll see where it parks. Nope. We are not going to park in a handicap, so that's a thing.